I'll be honest, I've been dragging my feet a little bit on this next unboxing just because I'm I'm, I'm not quite certain why I got it. I'm really not. I wasn't hot about it at the time, and even 4 years later, I'm still not hot about it. So why I put money into this, honestly, I don't know. Actually, the only reason why I'm doing this today, or rather tonight at this point, is because I got a massive, and I mean massive, cardboard box in the mail earlier today. And I'll only say that it kind of shattered some records for me in terms of being a collector. I'm not going to open that one today. That's probably going to be about a month from now, I'm guessing. But, oh man, I'm under the impression I bit off more than I could chew with that one because I've never done this before. I'm really excited to get to it, but first I have to get through the dull and boring first. Hence, this rather unusual opening. So, what is this thing? This is the. Let's see, how do I say this? This is the. What is this? This is the Cyclone Dial Fighter and the Trigger Machine Biker. Two versus vehicles that I swore up, down, and left and right that I was never going to get. Hmm. It was more the. Now, keep in mind, in 2018, 4 years ago, 2018, when these came out, it's not that I hated them, they just weren't interesting. They were too simple and they didn't. Well, actually, they don't transform at all. It's pure gimmick, and that was kind of it. And at the time, I already had, was it the Scissors and Blade Dial Fighter already at this point. But I just. Okay, part of the problem is that if you already have a VTOL, I guess this isn't even a tilt rotor. I don't know what this is. Just some sort of a VTOL aircraft or whatever it is. Then really, a helicopter's kind of a redundant thing because you've already got this. You've already like this should have been the accessory vehicle, and then this should have been the first wave robo or part first wave mecha. This should not have been an accessory. Like this is actually better at producing hurricanes and whatever and tornadoes and stuff like that, as opposed to this thing where it's just kind of it's a helicopter. It's kind of an unusual helicopter. It's like that's why I didn't get it. Because, like, once you reach this point, what do you need this for? You know? So, and yeah, there's the instructions taped on again. And really, the color scheme, I mean, my gosh, this is a very bright neon yellow. Holy shit. Or neon green, I'm sorry, neon green. It's already separated for some reason. It's just, it was so neon green, and there's kind of just a little bit of black on the bottom just for the heck of it. And that particular shade of, like, can I call it crimson or blood red or something like that? It's like, why would you use that color for? Is that orange? Oh, it's orange. For some reason, I thought that stripe was red. But anyways, and the way it unfolds and the what it looks like when it forms a limb. Honestly, I wasn't feeling it. Just Cyclone. Why did I get it? Because when I got it 2 months ago, at this point, 2 months ago when I got, or 2.5 months ago at this point, I was actively watching Lupinranger versus Patranger, and I said in my previous video that that if I'm in the heat of the moment, the mecha are more interesting than when I'm looking at them, after the fact. So for 4 years, I told myself it's not that interesting. It's just not. It's not. It doesn't transform. The only thing it does is it just kind of pops open and that's it. And when it's by itself, it's kind of okay, whatever. But um, when it's combined as a limb, it's just kind of okay, whatever. Just wasn't feeling it. And by the way, there's the instructions right there, unread. There they go. You don't really need instructions because there's literally only one moving thing on it anyway, so whatever. So anyways, what do you call it? The Cyclone dial fighter. Which, to be fair, since, or I want to say, it was either around the time that the Cyclone dial fighter, around 2018-ish. I think it was Sikorsky, which is a helicopter manufacturer. They made a prototype helicopter that was able to go like 300 miles an hour or something like that, which is like bizarrely fast for any helicopter, for any rotary wing, or yeah, for any rotary wing aircraft. Like that was stupidly fast. And so I'm kind of wondering, like, at the time, if this was intended to be an homage to that accomplishment or something like that, considering that Lupinranger versus Patranger, as originally conceived, was nothing but aerial vehicles. And so, maybe this was always planned or something like that, or I don't know, whatever. But anyways, it just looks weird. What's this? What's this huge arm? Oh, I'm sorry. They all look good from the left side. My apologies. So, anyways, yeah. And this stripe here is orange. For some weird reason, the pictures made me think it was red. Whatever. Because on all the Versus vehicles, I mean all of them, including especially on Good Striker, they have orange. So why would I think that the Cyclone would not have orange on it? I don't know. I just thought for some reason that the red of the cockpit here would just carry all the way back or whatever. That's what I thought. So, but anyways, kind of it's this big arm right here that holds it up. Ooh, okay, that is sensitive. It's this arm across the top. I mean, having two independently spinning rotors, that's fine. Does this even turn? Do you even? It does, just not very well. Not very well at all. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't assembled correctly, or it just simply isn't that good. I don't know. But then, I mean, it's a helicopter, but then it's got these fixed wings on the front. So, like, is it an auto gyro? I doubt it. Auto gyro is completely different from a helicopter. Completely different. Um, but anyways, yeah, it is a helicopter, but it's just not. It's kind of like a business jet and a business copter mixed up, and that's okay, I suppose. But it's okay. It's fine. It's just kind of a thing. The neon green doesn't really help it. I'm not gonna lie about that. Neon green doesn't help this thing. And it's got a tail rotor that does not move at all because it's just painted on, which whatever. I can't remember if this actually transforms. Um, oh, there's a little tab right there. It tells it when it tells the versus changer when it's making a thing. So hidden underneath the reader rail or whatever it is are two tabs, and I'm guessing those two tabs push up and prevent the rotors from popping open when you attach it to the Versus vehicle. Oh yeah, they're. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Okay, so that's how that stays in place. Speaking of the Versus changer, shouldn't it be saying Kaito Boost? Why would it say Masquerade? Ah, there we go. That was loud. And yeah, I don't think I emphasized it enough when I unboxed the Versus changer. It's really loud. Like, way too loud. Like, I thought that Good Striker was loud. This thing is loud. I wish there was a way to like unscrew the thing and like if there's maybe a little switch or something on the inside that I could mess around with, but there's not. So it's loud. It's really loud. Kind of sounds like an animal, like an animal within a concrete bunker or something. That's what it sounds like. Hmm. Okay. And also, when you turn the dial, um, it does not pop open the rotor feature, the transformation, or the special feature. It does not do that because there's a pair of tabs on the underside of Cyclone that are they're being pushed up when it's sitting on the versus changer. So that's why. And now for the the deployment. Hmm. Kind of surprised there isn't like a whirlwind sound and then an explosion or something like that. But unlike what the six primary versus vehicles do, as well as Good Striker, is unlike those. This just does its one unique special effect, that whirlwind effect, as opposed to being a gun blast of some kind. So, it's okay. Honestly, I can't remember what this one does for its Kaito boost. I really don't remember. What does it do? Yeah, what does it do? I don't remember. Fires an energy blast in the shape of a whirling propeller to attack and finish foes. This attack can be enhanced with the power of other pieces of the Lupin collection. No surprise there. Oh, that's right. It's kind of a tornado thing that comes out of the versus changer when you use it. Okay. All right. So, but again, why isn't there like it's just too quick. It's just a couple of. It's just real quick. It's not a and like the sound of tearing metal or concrete chunks being thrown around all over the place. Like I'm kind of expecting that, and it's just kind of, and that's it. So, oh hello, ooh those wings are wow those wings are or I guess they're pontoons. No, these are not pontoons, whatever they are. But there's actually a bit of I don't know if this camera's going to pick it up, but there's actually a little bit of flex happening here, which honestly I'm surprised. Usually that kind of sturdiness is not at issue with with Bandai. With Super Sentai toys, you usually don't have to worry about that. But considering the way that the screws are here and here, um, I don't know. Maybe it's just because they have to make way for this thing. Maybe that's what compromises the wings just enough that that becomes an issue. I'm not entirely certain. Anyways, so over there's the let's see, right there. I was going to make a comment about that, but I think I'll hold off. So the spring is only just enough to kind of sort of force them apart. You have to guide them out to the rest of the way. Do they snap? Yeah, they do. They actually snap in place. For some reason, okay. And then snap and snap and yeah, this is why I didn't get it. Because why didn't the propeller why doesn't the propeller face forward from the fist? Have it act like a buzz saw, or have it act like a shield or some kind of a whirlwind. Some kind of a wind air-based shield or some kind. Why didn't it act like that, or some sort of a vacuum or something or other? I mean, like there are plenty of other things they could have done, and technically the Cyclone does do all of those things, except that like one wind vortex comes out of one side and then another one comes out the other side, so you have to kind of wield it from either side, and it gets confusing. Whatever. And on top of which, you've got one huge arm here, and then you got absolutely nothing on the other side. Oh yeah, by the way, the underside, kind of. Oh yeah, now I get to look at. Yeah, the way that flag. Yeah, okay. I think they were in a bind. Getting the wing pontoon thingies to be stable. That might have been a problem. Because the way the plastics. Oh, is this painted? Oh, it is. The black, all the black right here, is painted on. Like it's molded in neon green, but then it's painted black. Why didn't they just mold it in black? Is all the black on here painted? Oh my god, I think well, the underside might be painted. Huh. That's surprising. I was not expecting paint. It really wasn't. Like, it should have been just the orange and the red, and that was kind of it. God, dare I say even the dial itself is maybe painted as well. I doubt it, but it's possible. Huh. So, anyways, yeah. I mean, there. Even now, with it in my hands, I'm just not really all that impressed. It's more like it's just kind of. It's just. Eh. It's just. Eh. I suppose I should be saving that for the conclusion, but this is about first reactions in these videos. Anyways, let's get LupinKaiser involved here. And if I remember correctly, it's the first time it's used, it's on the right arm, but then kind of all the times after that, it's used on the left arm. So I'm going to stick it or use it as the left arm. Click. And then I think this is simply called, is this just, yeah, it's just LupinKaiser Cyclone. That's it. Hooray. LupinKaiser Cyclone. Here's the other thing, though. It's kind of deceptive just because this thing is in the way. But, well, let's see, maybe if I could show from the other side. This is actually really thin. As an arm, this is really thin. Especially compared to what we got on the other side. And also what it's replacing. Yeah, that's a bit on the thin side here. Let's see if I can hide this here. See how thin that is comparatively? That's another problem that I hadn't entirely anticipated. So, anyways, yeah, I've got the Cyclone Dial Fighter, which told myself I was never going to get it, and here it is. Why did I get this thing? Honestly, so that I could tie it together with the Scissors and Sword Dial Fighter, or I'm sorry, Scissors and Blade Dial Fighter, so that I could get Cyclone Knight or Knight Cyclone, whatever the wording is. It's kind of like, yeah, that's why I got it. And again, as I'm watching the show, it's like, okay, it's kind of interesting, and it's not horrible in the show, but as a toy, um, I can't get wrong at them for, it wasn't just a fan blade or a single rotor that just flips to the front. Yeah, yeah, that's kind of the thing it should have done, but they didn't. Or it could have, I don't know, it could have shifted forward on like an arm of some kind, just shifted forward, and it could have become a saw blade. But then you have to remember that Yellow Dial Fighter does exactly that. It's kind of like there's nothing that the Yellow Dial Fighter does that the Cyclone can't already do. The only difference is, well, actually, all it does is just this spinny. Whoa, that was really tight. It does turn, just not very well. Gives out really easily. And then if you convert it back to its normal vehicle mode, well then, I mean, oh yeah, it's saw blades or whatever it is, except that they're yeah, that's the other thing is Notice how the rotors are covered up from above. You know, there's that again. It's that giant arm right there that's just such a problem. So I'm not going to say that it's badly assembled. It's just kind of, why did I get this thing? Oh yeah, Cyclone Knight. That's why. Which I will get to when I get to another video, and then uh, what's that thing called? The scissors blade. Then the scissors blade will be featured. So yeah. So yep, there's LupinKaiser Cyclone. Oh, I just thought of something while um, I was just gonna swap out for PatKaiser, and I was putting this away, and I just noticed, oh, the two rotors side by side. Oh, kind of like the V22 Osprey. That's something that never crossed my mind. Why didn't they do it that way? You know, or maybe so like instead of having the sliding feature like that, maybe instead it would have been it could have been just this where the two rotors were side by, I mean obviously they'd have to be separated enough so that there was no overlap, but like wouldn't it have been interesting to have like a V22 like dial fighter where the rotors were actually off to the sides always and did not do this sliding thing in towards the center. But then again, I suppose that's more of a dramatic enough change to make it, worthy of being released in the toy line. Like maybe they needed a little more oomph than just a V22, you know, or tilt rotor is what they're called. Which, oh, by the way, this already is. So I don't know. Cyclone Dial Fighter is just, it's not bad. It's just more meh than I'm interested in. So okay, and next up is the other meh that I was never planning to get, the Trigger Machine Biker. Oh, it just occurred to me when I unboxed the Versus Changer, I took kind of a thorough look at the box, and I just realized now all of a sudden that I didn't look at these boxes. By the way, I should also point out how much space does the Cyclone take up in its box versus how much space the Biker takes up. Like they're the same width and they're the same height, but if you look at them from the side, there's a really big difference in how much space one takes up compared to the other. Hmm. Hmm. Which just means that the Cyclone takes up more space. Yeah, it does. But anyways, something I noticed is that on the back of the box, and the same for the Cyclone box, it has both the Cyclone pictured. Oh, yeah, Cyclone's on the left. Yeah, Cyclone's on the left arm, and then it has the Biker over here. So it's like regardless of which one you buy, it says the same thing. So it's like one accessory that's not in the box is being promoted on the other one. And because this is LuPat we're talking about, they have to say, oh yeah, we've got a motorcycle that combines with PatKaiser, and then we've got a helicopter wannabe that merges with LupinKaiser. Huh. All right. Whatever. Although it might be a little confusing unless it says it in Japanese. It's probably like collect both of these versus vehicles. It's probably what that says. I don't know. Somebody says, is that what that says? I don't know. I can't read Japanese. So, anyways, yep, there's a promotion for the other there. Okay, anyways, moving on to the Biker. Um, Motorcycle Cop. I suppose that had to be brought up at some point. And considering this is the triumphant turn of police to the Super Sentai series, I suppose it had to happen. Considering that I deliberately skipped the previous and first time where a motorcycle officer made it into Super Sentai series, and that is the Deca Bike Robo during Deca Ranger's run. I deliberately skipped that because I didn't like it at any level. Even when I was watching Ranger back in 2005, when I was watching it Ranger in 2005, I didn't like it. Okay, so that thing I said earlier about, oh yeah, when I'm in the heat of the moment, I like it more. Yeah, that does not apply to Bike Robo. Bike Robo, no, did not like it, and to this day I still don't have one, and to this day I still do not want one. So then how did I end up with this? So anyways, I suppose that a motorcycle officer needed to happen at some point, but how do you do that? How do you do a motorcycle again? How do you do an unmanned motorcycle again? Without repeating what Ranger did. Let's see, it would have been 14 years earlier. Well, you give the motorcycle a rider, is what you do. Okay. Although it's not necessarily a motorcycle. I'll get to that as soon as I get to the. Yeah, I might as well say it. Biker is not necessarily a motorcycle. It's more of a tricycle. It's a little deceptive, but it's definitely three wheels. It's not two wheels. It's actually three. So, but yeah, I mean, much like actually less so. This actually moves around less than um, Cyclone Dial Fighter. This one Biker barely moves at all, despite what its name would imply. It barely moves. So it's more brickish. I mean, I guess I can't really say that with any of the trigger machines or dial fighters that I've gotten up to this point. Yeah, there have been a number of them that have been brickish, but Biker just. I suppose part of it is that it the color palette doesn't really change with this one. You got a little bit of blue, 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 and blue, and that's kind of it. Oh yeah, by the way, Trigger Machine Biker. It's the color palette is kind of, and again, this looks like it was painted. Maybe it's because they're not as dusty as what I've currently got, which is possible. Whatever. But yeah, this is definitely a tricycle. This is not supposed to be one giant wheel going through the center. No, it actually is two completely different separate wheels right there. So it's a tricycle. It's a trike. Okay. And then how did they do this? Oh, just because of the way the gimmick works. Technically, this is also two separate wheels as well. And the rider looks. And by the way, the biker, the actual figure that's seated on here right now, it does not move. It's not sentient. It's not nothing. It's just constantly looking like this. So, if you're expecting him to like wave to the crowd or wave to the monsters as he's coming in, no. It's because remember, these are not magical vehicles, even though they are. But yeah, actually, in a weird way, it kind of almost has a little bit more of a Tron Legacy kind of look to it if you think about it, the light cycles or whatever it is. So, how does it roll? Yep, that rolls pretty doggone well. How well does Cyclone roll? Oh wait, it doesn't have any wheels. Yeah, it rolls along just fine. Ah! I'm just now noticing the strobe lights on the back, which are totally just painted plastic. Again. Although, oddly, compared to those three trigger machines, this one's the oh, I just said it. Was it the strobe lights are painted red rather than because the mirrors on either side, they're both painted red as well. So okay, so that's the justification. It's like, why not just mold it in red? It's okay. It's fine. Just it's too brick-ish for my preference, and then because of the transformation that tilts upwards. Why does it tilt upwards like that? Is it so that like when it's an arm, it can tilt outwards a little? I don't get that. I don't understand why it does that. I just wanted to do more than what we got, and that's why I didn't get it until now. Biker! Wow, that was loud. If I wasn't wearing earphones right now, that would have been really loud. Oh, this one, the lights alternate back and forth. They alternate back and forth specifically when you pull the trigger on it. So, which none of the core trigger machines did that. They did it during the both the summoning and the henshin sequence. Yeah, they would flash then, but they didn't do it. The lights did not pulse back and forth when you pulled the trigger normally. Once those things have been done, and you just normally pulling the trigger. Okay. Boy, that takes up a lot of space. Eh, takes up a lot of space. It just kind of blends in. There's nothing particularly notable about it. I mean, if you didn't know it was there, it kind of disappears. I think like the color scheme, I think they might have been able to pull that off a little bit differently. So, yeah, whatever. And once again, because of the way I guess I should stop pointing this out at this point, but because of the way that how does it do that? Well, I'll check it out. Yeah, okay. So because of the way that this thing works, yeah, I don't have to take it off because of the way that this thing works. You don't when you squeeze the trigger, it doesn't transform. So, yeah. Now for the summoning sequence. That's interesting. When the Keisatsu boost happens, there's the siren and kind of a laser blasting sound, and then there's an explosion. But this time, during the summoning process, all you hear is the klaxon and the blasting sound. You don't hear an associated explosion afterwards. It's the same sound effect. So, okay. I kind of feel like all the detail kind of happens around the gimmick, and I really hate it when Super Sentai Robos do that. But anyways, um, yeah, I think this can extend on its own. So we squeeze the trigger, and wow, honestly, I was expecting it to actually spring out. I think it's just using gravity. Is it? Yeah, it's just using gravity. Yeah, it's just using gravity to stay in there. How does it stay in there, by the way? Ah, okay. There's a little black tab right there, and when you squeeze the trigger, it just pulls out and releases it. Huh. Seems to me that a police officer having a yo-yo is a pop culture reference to an anime that's not related to Super Sentai. That's why it's a why the Patranger ended up with a yo-yo. It's actually a pop culture reference of some kind, which I'm completely unaware of. So, like, if you do know why, a police officer using a yo-yo in Japanese culture or whatever it is, please do let me know. But anyways, yeah, that's the reason why the why the police have a yo-yo. Like I don't even. So yeah. So there's a snap right there. Does it go any farther? No, it does not. That only snaps one time, and then that snaps right there. Oh, which explains why it has two different wheels. Except not really. Honestly, okay, all right, and then the other part of the transformation, and this is technically this counts as transformation. The other part of it is you lift up on it a little bit, and that's it. So technically, that's the transformation right there. By the way, I'm sure more than one person has noticed you could turn this into a decent. What are those motorcycles called? They have really long. The front wheel is extended out really really long. They have that, not the handlebar, the pistons or whatever hang out. What's that called? Anyways, yeah, that's what this reminds me of. Which, okay, fine, whatever. Anyways, PatKaiser, let's get you involved, and I want to say it's on the right arm. It's on the right arm. Yes, it is. Because heaven forbid you have an infinitely long baton and an infinitely long yo-yo on the same mech at the same time. Although, to be fair, that would be kind of an interesting combination. Entangle them and pull them with this, and then just beat the snot out of them with that. Okay. Okay, now right here, already there's a problem. PatKaiser Biker, by the way. If I remember, is this PatKaiser Biker? I think it's PatKaiser Biker. PatKaiser Biker. Okay. So, anyways, thank God for fan wikis, by the way. So, right here, I've got a problem. Unless I did this wrong, which is entirely possible, why does this exist? Because if anything, oops, if anything, I suppose it's appropriate to have your hand out to the side a little bit, but if that was the case, they could totally have done like an elbow joint or something along those lines with the with this thing where like it actually like there's a wrist turn or something like that, and you can throw the yo-yo forward or something like that. But why does this joint exist? Because it doesn't hurt the proportions of PatKaiser Biker. It really doesn't hurt it. Why is that tilt there? I don't understand. Because if anything, it just puts the yo-yo up to the side. Is that why that's there? Just so he kind of has this. Actually, it's the right arm. So it can like hold its arm out to the side a little bit or something. I don't understand why this joint is here. Unless. No, it's not tilted up there. And it's not tilted up there. Why is that joint there? Now here it is. I have the benefit of 4 years after the show has come, or 3.5 years after the show came out, or ended. I'm sorry, 3.5 years after the show ended. There are there are two pictures, or yeah, there are two individual pictures where Biker is shown to have that back. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3 pictures. My mistake. Where it's pictured with the thing upwards, and always when it's alone. But all the other pictures, you see it down like this. So then, is it supposed to do this when it's by itself? No, it can't hold its balance at all. Why is that? What? Okay, somebody help me out, because there is no big super combined form, unless you want to count that thing I'm not going to talk about again, if I can help it. There's no super combination that this is involved in, but there's also no carrier vehicle for this thing to attach to. So why does that lift? Anybody? No, you can, but it's really difficult to retract that wheel. You can have it like this, but there's a little tab on the underside here that prevents it from rolling. It doesn't roll. It actually this little tab right here that sticks out. Why does this move? I mean, I knew it existed before I bought it. I knew that it moved years ago, but I'm just 4 years later. 4 years. This toy's been around for 4 years at this point. Why does that tilt upwards? I know I'm making a big stink about it, and I'm taking up a lot of time, but now that I've got it in my hands, I can ponder it a little bit more. Okay, why does it tilt? I don't get that. Like throwing your arm out to the side so you can whack it around. When have Super Sentai Robos, or combined DX Super Sentai Robos, ever worried about articulation? Like, deliberately. Hell, even Geki Tojo didn't have articulation that was all that good. The arms only folded outwards because of how it combined with Geki Bat, and that was it. But why does this move? Anybody? Please. Was there like another toy that was not released, which is entirely possible, I'm just fucking saying, that this was supposed to interact with? I don't think... I also... you can't use it on the Versus vehicle either. I just found the copyrights. The copyrights are around the tire wall right here, which you can't see, I know. But yeah, that's where they are. Oh, that's funny. They actually rotate. That's funny. Okay. But anyways, boring. And like the way it sticks out like this, it's a yo-yo. All right, fine. But really, that's not even 1 inch right there. It's like 3/4 of an inch. Do I have a ruler? Yes, I do. How far does this extend? 3/4 of an inch, which is the equivalent of 2 centimeters. That's all you get. That's all you get at 2 centimeters right there. Considering this is a yo-yo string we're talking about here, that's pretty GD pathetic. That's pretty bad right there. So meh. NGL. These were purchased on the same day from the same person. No, they were purchased from two different sellers. And they were literally the last of the new Versus vehicles that I purchased. These were the very last purchases I made out of all of them. Okay, so it was very much a late decision. Like, okay, I got all the other Versus vehicles that I want, and then I'm like, should I really? Do I really want to get these things? Do I want to waste, you know, whatever aftermarket price hikes that I had to pay for these things? Do I really want to go through that trouble? And then, I mean, that's just shipping, whatever. But like, do I really want to pay like double or triple on the aftermarket for things that I never really liked in the end? I don't hate them. I never hated them. They're just uninspired. No, I suppose the yo-yo thing. Kids in Japan, they probably do get the yo-yo reference on a motorcycle. Okay, and it's a trike. It actually has 3 wheels. Unlike what the Deca Bike Robo did, where it pretended to have 2 wheels when in fact it actually had 3. Whatever, or did it? No, 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 because it had the little trainer wheels on the outside. I forgot about that. Um, but anyways, how could you have done a motorcycle different? You know, Now that I think about it, I think it would have been kind of interesting if like the back wheel flipped forward. You would have had a much longer reach for a string. I think that would have worked a little better, and then you could have anchored the string to the front wheel. So if it had been like a single wheel back here, which would have been hidden from a side view, you would not have been able to see it, and then have it swing out. I think that would have been a little better than just the little, this little piece of garbage right here, whatever. So, and then this kind of exists, and it's an awful color. Why couldn't you do the whole thing in orange? Spinny flippy twirly things in Super Sentai in the first wave are usually the accessory mecha is usually orange. You know, so why didn't they do this in orange or do it in purple? There's no purple in any of the Versus vehicles. It's this neon green. They could have done like purple and yellow, or they could have done anything. They could have done another shade of blue. They could have done, maybe they could have done this shade of blue or something. Because this blue is different from. It's sitting over here. This shade of blue is different from the blue on the blue Dial Fighter. They actually are different shades. So, oh yeah, by the way, that's twice, or that they've got this. They've got the same color featured twice now. It's kind of odd, isn't it? So, anyways, yeah. I mean, I think this is the completionist side of me sticking out. That's what this is. This is just me like this is me literally saying, fuck it. I've gone this far, I might as well just finish it off. And they're harmless, they're fun, like, okay, whatever. Little kids probably got a kick out of them, whatever. But me, I knew they were meh back in 2018 when I first saw them. It would have been in March when we would have seen them for the first time. March or even April when we first saw them. They would have been meh back then. They were meh for 4 years, and now that I actually have them in my hands, yeah, this is kind of okay with the twirly thing, and I can't really say anything good about the biker. Honestly, I think like if I had to pick like which one do I prefer more, I think I might actually go with the Cyclone because like at least it does something that's interesting. Like it's dramatic change as opposed to that, you know, which just it's this right here is very much a case of the gimmick on the biker specifically is very much the specific example of a Super Sentai accessory mecha that does not have a transformation, but it does have a gimmick. You know, the transformation is sacrificed, is not present in order to give you, you know, that. At least this like changes dramatically enough that you kind of pay attention to it more. But Biker, I think at the end of the day, like of these two that came out at exactly the same time, you know, I think I got to give it to Cyclone. Just it changes enough, and it's eye-catching enough. It's kind of a gaudy neon green, which is not to say that Super Sentai hasn't used neon green in the past or just green in general. Oh, by the way, um, you also have Patoren Nigo, or I'm sorry, you have Trigger Machine Nigo right there, which is also green. So that's eh. Wait a minute. None of the Patrangers are blue, but none of the Lupinrangers have green. The Rangers themselves, not the vehicles. It's a complete color reversal. I wonder if that was on purpose. And this is a lighter shade of blue, and this is a lighter shade of green compared to the two. I wonder if that was deliberate. I don't know. I'll have to chew on that. Eh, I think I've rambled on enough at this point. So yay me. This is Ava Unit 4A saying thank you very much for tuning in.